last speaker, Mr. Ikenna, has highlighted and the need for protests to continue. This shows, but he's sitting outside the country. So these are the kind of people that are pushing this narrative without understanding and appreciating the effort that is being undertaken by Mr. President. If you go back to the history and track the trajectory of subsidy in Nigeria, almost every government have approached to incremental removal of oil subsidy. From the Obasanjo regime to Yaradua to Jonathan to Buhari and now to Tinubu. If you go back and see how they remove it, they will remove subsidy. I think by 2007 when Obasanjo was leaving office, the cost for subsidy that was paid in that 2007 was about 307 billion. Now when Jonathan was leaving in 2015, the cost of subsidy was like 1.7 trillion. Even though there is incremental removal, maybe from subsidizing 10 naira to removing it to 5 naira, yet the cost to pay in terms of subsidy again get increased. So it doesn't reduce. So what the president do is that he said he cannot continue to tolerate that rubbish any longer. This money must go back to Nigerians. And that is why he flattened the subsidy at one point so that nobody will have any issue to say that he will have to go and, plan their way to steal Nigerians' money in the name of subsidy. But again, there are some processes that must be put in place for this money to get to the grassroots. One of these processes was giving the autonomy of the local government council that you see today. That autonomy of the local government is an opportunity for the president to reach out directly to the grassroots and send all the necessary support that is required so that development objectives can reach a common man on the street. The same talk that he did, Mr. Ikenna, about the fact that when you carry goods from Taraba and you are trying to take it to the southern part of the country, the cost gets higher. There is a comprehensive program that is supposed to be organized, which is being organized by the local government council, whereby you have only one payment for the goods that you carry from one location to any other location in the country without being stored by any other person on the way. But it cannot be implemented until local government have their autonomies. And now that they have the autonomy, this program can go on. So there are so many other things that are taking place gradually, and you don't expect the reform action to just take place like magic. What we need to do is to trust somebody like the president that we have today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has the courage and the will to be able to execute something that even military generals could not do in the past. So what we need to do is to give him a fair understanding the fact that removing fuel subsidy itself is injurious to some cabals and cartels in this country, because the monies that they used to get will no longer go to their pocket. And what they save will be diverted to making sure that this subsidy get back so that they can continue to run our country dry. And that is why if you look at the end bad governance protest that they are planning, the first thing on the line item was returning back the fuel subsidy. This even begs the question to ask, does that mean that these subsidy cartel are the ones that are actually sponsoring this end bad governance protest? Are Nigerians being used as gullible assets to be able to perpetrate agenda of the cartel that otherwise suck Nigeria dry through the back door in the name of subsidy, simply because Mr. President have the courage to deal with them and in favor of Nigerians? So what we need to do is to look at our president, look at him deeply and look at what he is doing. He meant very well for this country, and he wants to make sure that these monies get to the grassroots, but it cannot go without some constitutional checks and balances.